What is health and well-being to you? What does it mean to you as an individual? I guarantee you it is as an individual that the person watching this at the desk next to you may not feel or think the same about this. How does your health align to your work, or how does your work align to your health? Right now, if I were to survey you, and I did actually survey everybody who came to the talks on Wednesday, and asked them, does work impact your life? And they all said, or quite a few, I should say, said yes. Then I asked, does it impact positively? And everybody put their hand down. So at the moment, the net contribution of your work to your life is not positive in regard to your health. Now that will be having an impact on everything that matters to you. You know, your energy, your fun time, your recovery time, your social / familial time, who you are with your kids and your wife, or your husband or your partners or your friends will not be as perhaps positive or as communicative as it could be if you're feeling under pressure at work to a point where it's just not enjoyable, or you're just not aligned to your work generally. Most of us are heading towards self-actualization or esteem. That is our internal mission. We're trying to move towards a self-determined sense of competence. Now, if you look at this pyramid, and although it's not exactly right for everyone, it's fair to say that for most of us, physiological needs or security will need to be met first. So we've just talked about air, water, food, sleep, and these are recognized as physiological needs. They occur in the physiological layer of this model, the psychological model. This has been around since the 70s. You may have heard of it yourselves, probably have. Now, why is that important? If you haven't got your physiological needs met or your security needs met, you're not going to be as good at love, connection, and belonging. You're not going to be in esteem. And esteem is an interesting layer because here we recognize our own competence. And this is relationally given markers and feedback. We're basically confirmed by the communities that we exist in or live in or play in or work in, that we are contributing, that we are bringing meaning or value to the people around us, that we're creating through our competence a sense of safety for them or a sense of community for them. So what a special place to be. And we should all be aiming to be in esteem, and most of us are, but it doesn't mean we're achieving it. Now, when you think back to what we were talking about before, and we say that if we don't know that air is present by breathing correctly, we don't know that water is present by hydrating correctly, then our body in this pyramid is not necessarily being told you can move up towards self-actualization and esteem. Now, self-actualization is even more important, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more, or even more impressive, if you will. So these are the needs. These needs. There's a couple there we won't talk about, but ultimately we need to meet those needs to move up this pyramid and be the best we can be. So our programs, what are they about? Why have we come at them with such passion? Well, to put it simply, we want to facilitate human potential in the workplace and out of it. We want to have such an impact on your ability to move up that pyramid that ultimately you get to self-actualize wherever you are at whatever time of day. I'm not saying you're going to be perfect. We're not trying to create a utopia just yet, but I honestly believe that we can create an average of you that says you're in those higher echelons at a bare minimum of love, connection, and belonging, meaning that we know that you feel safe and secure, and therefore you are in some state of well-being that we can accept and you can accept. And then from there, thrive, build that foundation so that you can move into esteem or self-actualization, or at least spend some of your day, some of your week there. How do we do it? How do we achieve that for you? Well, it's real straightforward. We maximize your well-being because we feel that if we have you feeling well, to put it simply, and healthy, you've satisfied those lower echelons and you're now able to focus externally. Let me put it another way. If you haven't satisfied the lower echelons, the energy systems in your body and the mind that controls them are going to try and focus on satisfying your need for water, air, food, etc., shelter, clothes, if we're looking at the security layer. Just think about clothes. How would you know that you've got enough clothes? You don't get cold. Who gets too cold and does nothing about it? I'm sure that happens to some of you over the winter. Not so much in summer, of course. But ultimately, we need to give these cues to our body. We need to acknowledge our needs and satisfy them to create well-being, and take necessary actions and make necessary behavior habitual so that we can move towards esteem and self-actualization, and then have the impact around us at work and at home so that people feel good in our presence and we feel good in theirs. To facilitate human potential, we maximize your well-being, but to do that effectively, we have to understand that your needs are individualized. Really important. Programs in well-being, and all the study and white paper on well-being has shown two major factors impact well-being programs in the workplace: leadership and individuality. They're the two key factors, or rather, I should say, personalization of the program. So we really need to define how needs of the individual can be acknowledged or precisely catered for to make a really effective well-being program, and also move us towards that facilitation of human potential.